Welcome to the 5-Minute Trading Edge, brought to you by the Institutional Edge System. For those of you that aren't familiar with what that is, it's a truffle. And during a particular time of year when they are harvested, they go for a lot of money, as much as $2,000 a pound. You'll find them in fancy restaurants as part of truffle oil or truffle fries. They're delicious. And without a doubt, you can also have a knockoff or a fake that is sold to you for the same price. Yes, there are synthetic truffles that are not being harvested in Europe that are coming from different parts of the world that are still being passed off. Now, this might be a foodie's travesty, and that's something that a lot of us worry about. But knowing whether or not you're getting a good price for your truffle is identical to knowing whether or not you're getting a good price in your market, and whether or not you have an understanding of the value zone or what fair price is for a decent trade, and whether or not you're getting a bargain. Now, for a lot of traders, they simply look at value as an abstract concept, and they pay more attention to price, more specifically price swings. They look at highs, they look at lows, they look at intermediate levels throughout, but they're not very clear on what's driving any of this fluctuation. More importantly, if they're leaning on a lagging indicator, they're probably falling for a lot of the minor fluctuations there, or they're late for a lot of them. Either way, it doesn't add up to very many profits, more losses than profits in your account. Well, today we're going to talk about volume, price, and value. And specifically what we're going to spend time on is volume's relationship with value. Really, this is a love-hate relationship that you need to watch. Volume is really the market's way of expressing its attitude towards a market's value or fair price. And specifically, you need to be able to plot the macro and the micro views of volume if you're going to understand whether or not you are getting a fair price. Price is really just a way of keeping score. When volume has backed away in the past, that indicates future rejection. And then ultimately, when the institutions, the guys that have been driving 95% of the volume, step in, that indicates also future levels of support, resistance, and potentially reversals. Our primary tool for doing this is the volume composite, and it is fantastic. At one glance, it tells us a lot of what we'd hope to know about the market's attitude towards these different price levels that are taking place here. And already we can spot that the better majority of the volume has gone off in this area. One of the other great things that this does is, because it's on a 240-minute time frame view and using a 300-day look back, we're able to put major events, in this case Brexit, which took place at the end of June, in context. So with this in mind, we then have valuable information on value, specifically value area high, this green line right here, value area low, this red line right here, and then the point of control, this blue line right here. Notice how volume drops off here and volume drops off here compared to the point of control. In looking at this, and you can bet that this goes down again like this, value area high, the market is essentially saying with decreased volume that market conditions are too expensive. We are overbought. And what we look for is a correction down here, back into the value zone. Value area low, what we're saying is market conditions are cheap. We're oversold. We're looking for a return back into the value zone. We're buying a truffle and we're up here. We know that we're overpaying for it, and we can expect price to drop. A good time to short a truffle or to sell a truffle. If we're buying a truffle down here, we know that we're in an oversold condition and that the buyers are stepping in. We should look for the truffle price to rise. The same is true in your market. If you're buying a truffle right here, you're paying exactly what the institutions want you to pay. You're paying fair value. No good. You shouldn't be doing that. So volume and value, that's a long-term look. We have tools for the short-term look as well. But in the short time, value is expressed through volume. It's not expressed through price. It's something that we need to watch. The volume that precedes price is ultimately what gets respected. And you have to know where the value zones are before trading. If you'd like to learn more about how you can profit by monitoring value, of course through volume, watch our free 4-part training at institutionaledgesystem.com. Until then, thanks for your time.